Whoa! We're coming to you on a Wednesday again after a week off, a week of vacation for Matt and Paul. This is Carvers and Creators. Welcome to season 2, episode 36, and a very special Wednesday edition of Carvers and Creators, a weekly demonstration and discussion with pumpkin carvers, sculptors, and multi-talented artists. We ask that you please give us a like and a follow on the platform you're watching us on. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from and if you have any questions for the carvers and our special guests. Let's meet the carvers. First, he's an artist and sculptor from Boston, Massachusetts. He's the 2019 champion of Food Network's Outrageous Pumpkins. Paul Dever, welcome.
Happy Wednesday. I got it right. I got it right.
You look all tan from your Florida trip.
It's actually a 3rd-degree burn, but yeah, same thing. I'm exfoliating like crazy. Healing, as they call it, I guess.
Shedding, yeah.
Shedding, yes. Molting, really.
Next, he's a multimedia sculpture artist from Tucson, Arizona, and a finalist on Halloween Wars 2019 on the Food Network. Matt Harper, welcome.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Our guest today is a freelance concept artist, sculptor, and illustrator who has brought to life some of the most iconic pop culture characters from the 20th century. From Kansas City, here is Rudy Garcia. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. How you doing?
We're so glad to have you today.
Yes.
What time is it there?
It is 6 p.m.
6 p.m. So we have every region covered, right? So we're
all the zones.
Yeah, we got Mountain. I'm Pacific. Matt's Eastern. We're good. Central, all covered. My name is Michael Mondragon. I'll be running the show, moderating comments, and chiming in from time to time. Let's check out our carves from 2 weeks ago. The carving subject was confused Monstapalooza-ish. So, Matt, this is so good.
Oh, thank you. When you're given and when life gives you a thing like Monstapalooza-ish, it kind of opens the door to kind of whatever you want to do. So, I mean, this little fella turned into that one, and I was trying to give him like a like that kind of really dumbfounded look, but it just. Yeah, I don't know what kind of character it is other than he's wrinkly and he has sharp teeth. That's about it.
Nah, I love it. It's so good. And I had to take this one from the top angle and there's a lot of angles to this one. If you look around it, it's really, really good, really complex.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. It was such a vague one, and we were going away like the next day. I'm surprised you got it done. It came out great.
Yeah,
lots of wrinkles, lots of good wrinkles.
Yeah. Speaking of wrinkles, here's Paul's from last week.
I love that nose, Paul. That is just badass.
That is called poor planning, Matt. I had no direction. I didn't finish it until I didn't think I was going to be able to finish it. I didn't finish it before we left. And I was kind of just hoping and praying that it survived in the fridge. And it was like, it lasted the entire time. It was still fresh. So whenever anybody asks us from now on, how long do they last? Weeks.
Yeah.
If you keep them in the fridge.
Yeah. And did you have it submerged in water or something, or would you?
No, I just give it a spray. Get it moist, put it in the bag, get all the air out, and then just keep it in the fridge. So those Kabokas will last like long time, and the butternuts will too. It's those damn pumpkins that don't want to stick around.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It almost looks like it's submerged in that picture. The first time I saw it, I thought you had it in like a vessel because of the thing behind it, I think.
Yeah. It's all tricks with lighting, Matt. It's all tricks with lighting.
It works.
Well, I work in pixels and vectors, so here's my offering for this week. And the confused part of this, as you can see, is the layout of Monstapalooza. It's trying to figure out where we're going to go first and if we're going to get to everything. So that's the confused part of this, the little inside joke of this whole thing.
Yeah. That's awesome, Mickey.
I know. I wonder if we'll ever see our booth.
It's the truth. We may have wander away quite a bit. Like, where's Paul? Where's Matt?
We really have no right being there.
And I also want to show something. We got back something from a previous guest, Jason Seiler, who finally finished our caricatures, which is unbelievable to say the least.
Look
Unbelievable.
at
It's
that.
like looking in a mirror.
Oh my gosh. Like we
so
just sent him
crazy.
pictures and then he basically morphed it and then redid it and made it look photorealistic, which is outstanding.
That's the crazy part, because he sent us the sketches, all the hand sketches of it, and then his painting is it's unbelievable. I mean, he does like Time Magazine, and he just did Mad Magazine, and in Carvers and Creators, which is probably going to be on the top of his list, I'd assume, on his resume.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
I don't know about you, Rudy, but if you ever gotten a caricature done, you know, you can especially if you go to the fair or something like that, you look at it like, oh, that's interesting. You know, it kind of looks like me, but when it's this realistic, it's almost like, oh, I don't know. Do I really have a giant head like that?
I know what you mean.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Paul said before the show, he goes, do you have a chip in your tooth? And ironically, I'm getting it taken out on Friday. And it's been there for at least 7 years, but like he had down to the detail. If you look up close, you can actually see the chip in your tooth. So,
so cool.
Pretty insane. But Rudy, I'd like to introduce you to the fourth member of Carvers and Creators, responsible for choosing our carving subject tonight. It is the hollow wheel, the center spinner, and as always, Paul will explain more right now.
Hello, kids. Happy Wednesday. Okay, we're back off vacation, back to business. So this is the wheel, Rudy. So what we're going to do is going to spin it 2 times. And the first time we spin it is going to be the subject. So the subjects tonight will be non-face. So obviously Matt and I like to carve faces, so it has to be something other than. Then we have nightmare fuel, voluptuous, fantasy, psychopathic, outer space, guest choice, zombie, in honor of Rudy, primate, and villain. The second spin will be the emotion of which we have to try to attach to it. So first one will be horny, terrified, enraged, irritated, elated, grizzled, stoned, euphoric, confused, or repulsive. Well, those are some choices, kids. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Big spin, big winner, no zombies. Wait, no, we want a zombie, so if I say no zombie, I'll get a zombie. Ah, damn it. Nightmare fuel. Okay, nightmare fuel can be a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Come on, horny nightmare fuel. Ah, irritated nightmare fuel.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Wow, nightmare. Be my high school math teacher.
All right. So
Mickey, yeah, might want to put that into that. I'm already gonna forget.
I'm putting it in right now.
Okay.
There you go.
Confused zombie, right? Is that what it was?
I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
I have committed it.
All right, so irritated nightmare fuel.
Okay.
Yep.
Howdy do? How does one do this? All right.
Save that. And
I'll just
here we go.
There, got it.
So
There it is.
irritated nightmare fuel is the
Irritated nightmare
subject.
fuel.
All right. So Rudy, are you going to be creating with us? Or are you just going to be chatting up?
Hanging and
Actually,
banging, man.
I don't have anything in front of me. I have everything's just all computers and Cintiqs. It's all.
Ah, gotcha. No problem. Okay. But if you are creating with us, we're going to give you 5 minutes to get your tools, get anything that you're going to carve with, if you're going to paint, if you're going to draw, huge can. We're going to give you 5 minutes. While we do that, we're going to go around the horn and see what everybody's carving oil is for tonight. Rudy, what are you drinking tonight?
I've actually got Heineken over here.
All right.
There you go. Perfect.
Heineken's great. Speaking of that, we just watched Blue Velvet recently at our house, and if you recall, the Pabst Blue Ribbon, Heineken. Anyway, it's every time I think of the word Heineken, I think of that movie now.
I was hoping for a Schlitz, but I was out of them in the fridge down there.
Oh, can you get that still?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I remember those from the 70s. Oh my, I'm showing my age now.
That's okay. I showed my age by popping for it. Matt, what do you got?
I have from Kona Brewing Company a Gold Cliff IPA.
There you go.
It's an IPA, but I'm hoping it's not like as tough as. What do I have to look for to see how bad it is?
The letters IPA.
That's usually your litmus test, right?
That's his test.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big IPA fan, so, but I have it, so I'm going to drink it. That's
I just love the fact that every week you pull out an IPA, knowing how much
I know.
they make other beer.
I know. It's just
Nice Hefeweizen.
But the cool kids all drink IPAs. Apparently, I want to be cool.
Well, Paul, being a cool kid, what are you drinking tonight?
It's a Harpoon Brewery in wonderful Boston. It's a Vermont thing too. Big League, big hops and big haze, 7.2% alcohol by volume. It's a big and juicy IPA.
Nice.
I have not had it, so this will be interesting. Double the dry hops, double the haze. The game's been changed again. Oh, big talk. Big talk.
Were people requesting the game be changed?
Apparently, They like moving goalposts. So.
Well, my beer is a Haze Well with Others by Smog City Brewing, and actually has some awesome artwork on it as well.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So Smog City is a very underrated brewery. It's just south of Orange County, here in south of Los Angeles. So cheers to all of our creations. Thank you for joining us on this very special Wednesday edition of Carvers and Creators. So Rudy, you do your current work mostly digitally, correct?
Yes. Yes.
But you've done your share of carving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Those were way back in the day. In fact, I had a guy tell me that I never even noticed it. The pumpkin on the far right with the hair.
Uncle Creepy, right? No.
Someone had told me that carving reminded me of that one Nick Nolte mugshot when he got arrested.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I know, man. I never even noticed it.
Now I can never unsee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, they're awesome.
Thanks, thank you.
How did you like carving those? I mean, clearly you're damn talented at it.
I started carving after I saw Ray Villafane. He's the one who I really looked after for carving and stuff. And I tried it one day, and I really enjoyed doing it. So I started. I think I did my very first carving was in 2008, I believe is when it was. And then I started doing it for actually getting like paid gigs. I think in 2010, I believe. And then from there it went on to doing like 2 and 3 gigs a year, and stuff. But it's been a great. And I just see now how everyone is taken to it. I mean, like it's like everyone now because when I started doing this with Ray, there was hardly just a handful of people doing it. There really wasn't a whole lot of people really doing this type of art, and he really opened the doors for everything.
I'll say,
yeah. And so
did you ever carve with Andy Bergholz?
Yes, I did. Actually, all of us, myself, Ray invited me to Hong Kong when we went and did the big carving event in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think I remember watching that. And
Andy, we had a really good time. It was a fun time there. Myself and Andy and Ray and Chris Vieira, one of the other artists.
Yeah, right.
There was a few other guys there too that went. They were kind of. I was there like the longest, I think. I don't know. Maybe Ray or Andy were the longest. But I was there about 6 weeks. I was only supposed to be there for about 4 weeks, but they had me extend my stay for about 3 more weeks. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun there. But I mean, you were constantly. I mean, you had to have a certain quota to do every day, and to get all these new pumpkins out, and stuff. But it was a lot of fun. I wish I could. I'd do it over again in a heartbeat because it was.
Oh wow!
It was a fun time. Yeah.
Wow. Now, what year was that? I'm sorry.
2013.
2013. Because was there like a TV show around that too? Because I remember there was a Carvers show. something like that. I don't know if it was that.
Yes, there was. I think there was a TV show. They filmed everything. Of course, they filmed it before I got there. So I didn't get a chance to make my big TV debut. No, but it was Ray and Andy, and there were a couple. Like I said, there were a couple other artists there prior to myself. Okay. And they filmed like the beginning of it, and things, and how he got started, and things, and it was really cool. Really cool little show. I watched it, and stuff, and it was great. It was a good show.
Same here. I'm bummed it didn't take off, because that was like right up my alley too. I think Paul and I were probably getting started right around then too. Yeah. And it just like fascinated, and Ray is a big influence for us as well. We've been lucky to have him on.
He's great. He's a great artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing is that you have to, like when I was in Hong Kong, you got to really kind of under the gun to create something different, and stuff. Because, every now and then your pumpkins will start looking like the ones you did before, and you got to do something completely different, And, I was trying to think, and then you had to hurry up and do it. You got to hurry and do like. Normally, I like to take about 8 hours on a pumpkin. That's a good long haul for myself. I'm very just meticulous, and I stop and look at things, and it takes me, that's why I don't do it anymore. I'm too old for this now. But they're ones to bang out like 3, maybe 4 pumpkins a day there. Stuff. I was like, wow.
Oh man, and to get good quality stuff, that's a long day. That's a long day.
Exactly. Good, very good quality, work and stuff. Wow. But like I said, it was fun. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was a fun time. And prior to that, I had just got back from Alaska. I went for Ray Villafane for Villafane Studios. I went to Alaska to do a gig for him up there, and that was really. It's real. I don't know if you've ever been to Alaska or not, but it's such a beautiful state.
Yeah.
But it's really weird because if you step into a shadow, like the sun's shining, you step into a shadow. It is like cold in that shadow. You step out into the sun and it's nice and warm. I mean, it's just it's so weird. The shadows are cold. It's like not like here where it's just like humid all the way around. It's like in the summertime. But it was nice. It was very nice up there.
What part of Alaska were you in?
It's where they have the state fair, and I can't think of the name of the city now.
Okay, like Juneau or
Anchorage.
No, it wasn't like the main.
Fairbanks.
No, it wasn't Fairbanks.
Steel beating?
I don't remember it. God, I sure don't remember the name.
Oh, don't sweat it. Yeah, I've never been there. It's like a bucket list place to go. Let alone Hong Kong. I mean, you're going to all the great places.
Yeah. It was. That year, in 2013, I traveled the most in 1 year that I had ever in my entire life.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, spent about 17 to 18 hours in a plane. My daughter can't stand like an hour in a plane. She gets freaked out by planes, and stuff. Yeah. She goes, I don't know how you spent 17 hours in a plane.
Yeah, you can't watch enough movies. We just flying from Arizona to Florida. That 4 hours. It was like, okay, I watched the movie. What do I do now? I can't imagine another 10 hours after that. That's crazy.
Yeah. But most of your work is done now on the computer through ZBrush, right?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So
tell us some more about how kind of that evolved.
Well, it evolved because I had to evolve. I'm this old dinosaur still doing. I'm sure there's a lot of people that still do it like that too. But I mean, the jobs for traditional sculptors, they're getting very far and few between. And every. Places that's all they work with now is mostly digital sculptors. So I had to try to learn this program. I watched like a handful of videos on YouTube and I took a class on an online class, just kind of like the basic fundamentals type thing, and I tried to cram everything, all this learning like in like 2 months, and it's a huge learning curve. It's fun. It's exciting. It's also very stressful. There's nothing like taking on a job and they were asking for something that they need, but you don't know how to do it. So you're like burning the midnight oil, trying to figure out how to do it, and stuff. And I've sculpted things like 2 or 3 times over again to figure out how to do it the right way, and stuff. But now I'd say I'm probably about, out of 100%, I'm probably about, I'd say 70% there of what I know. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much all I do now is just digital, digital art. Now, if I'm doing something big, like a big 1-to-1 prop, then yeah, I'll still work on the clay, and work it that way. That's the only way I can do it, But and I have a small printer too. I have a small 3D printer. Looking into getting a bigger one though, but so far just a little bitty one. But
those are pricey. Those are pretty expensive, aren't they?
They're not too bad actually. They really aren't too bad. I think mine was like $400, I think, or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking thousands.
Yeah. Now the big ones now run about 1,000, 2,000. Some good ones. And then the real high end are up in you're talking a couple of thousand. For the couple of 2,000 to 3,000 for the really high end ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this is resin, right? They're the resin pieces.
That's awesome.
Yes, that there is resin. That's I use a translucent resin. I think that's smooth on 326. I believe that's what it is. And I like it because you can, when you paint, your paint jobs, they show the translucency just like real skin, and stuff.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my god,
so cool.
Wow.
Thanks.
How big is that? Because I know that piece is on your Etsy store.
Yeah. That is, I don't think I had that one up here, do I? No, I sure don't. I don't have that one up here. That one, I believe, is from the head down to the base there. I believe that one is maybe 6 inches tall, maybe 6 or 7 inches tall, something like that. So yeah, the head is actually it's a half scale head, or not a half scale, but quarter scale head. So, and then I added a little bit of the chest area, and stuff. And that was actually a pretty good seller. I've got one. I think I had one left on eBay or on Etsy actually. So,
wow,
pretty good seller for me.
That's awesome.
Well, my number one seller was the spider head from The Thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was I couldn't get those things done quick enough.
My God.
And
is that around the same size too? Is that another around the same?
That's small,
right? That one is about. I think that one's 1/5 scale actually.
Okay.
It's a little bit bigger than 1/6. I have to guess 1/6, about 1/5 scale actually.
Oh my God, that is so
good. But strange thing about this one is that I hardly sold any of them in the United States. I mean, I sold a ton of them overseas.
Wow.
Mostly in Australia and Hong Kong, and then a few in France actually. A couple of them in France and stuff.
Wow.
I think I sold maybe 2 or 3, maybe here in the States, but that was, most of them were all overseas, But
that's interesting. I wonder they're bigger fans of The Thing than we are, apparently. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess so.
Super cool.
You did that on a 3D printer, huh?
I'm sorry?
That's a 3D printed?
No, actually, that's traditionally done in
all right.
Clay, and then in the cast. I made a mother mold with the freeform air on that one because it's such an irregular shape. So I sculpted it in the monster clay. Then I made a mold of that and cast it in wax, in the hard wax, and then I cleaned it up, and then I made my final mold out of I forgot the name of it. It's the pink stuff from Smooth On.
Oh, the Rebound?
No, it's not the Rebound. It's the other one. It's the Smooth Cast 30 or something like that, or something like that. I can't remember the name of it now. It's the pink material though, and I just used the freeform air as the mother mold, and it popped out really easily.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Do you miss being in digital now? Do you miss? I mean, you still get the physical thing when you're printing it, but do you miss doing the traditional sculpting at all?
Yes and no. I like when I'm sculpting, get my hands on it, so I can turn it all, have it to hold and just move it all around, and stuff. The part that I don't like is how long it takes. And in ZBrush, it's so fast. You can move. I can something that would take me, just for an example, something that would take me about 3 weeks to sculpt would take me now probably maybe 6 or 7 hours in ZBrush.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay.
That's if there's no, it's something simple. Now you start adding weapons and clothes and all kinds of trinkets, armor. Well, it's going to take a little bit longer than that,
Sure.
But just a basic figure, like say if I'm going to do a werewolf or something like that, something that's very organic. Yeah, I can knock one out probably in about 6 hours.
Wow. Okay.
There's no touch. You don't have to touch it up, right? It's already polished.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can. And ZBrush, you can turn it upside down. You can turn it all the way. You can do quite a bit with, like I guess when it's a piece of sculpture, you have to worry about, Yeah, you're right. I guess.
You don't even have to worry about symmetry, right? Because you can actually mirror.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Oh, wow.
You can use symmetry. If you keep your model right in the center, right, you have to keep it in the center, right of the, like what they call it, the center of the world. That's what they say. That's what they say in ZBrush, the center of the world. It's lined up. If you accidentally get off of that, or if you forget to activate symmetry, which I do all the time. I mean, I'm notorious for doing that. You got to go back. You got to, gotta undo it, or there's other ways around it. You can resymmetry it, and there's a button that's called smart resymmetry. That works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, you can. I mean, that's why it's so quick. You can knock out one side of the face, and the other side is right there, done for you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. Have you, Paul? Have you gotten ZBrush? Because I know you're talking about it before.
No, I'm too cheap at the moment. I don't have the time. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's dynamite. I've wanted to for years, but there's a lot of things that I want to do that I don't have the time for. Jesus, I'm just getting around to molding things and casting.
I know. Me too. Yeah, for the first time ever.
I'm in the ephemeral art game.
Yeah, it goes away.
Yes.
Yeah,
because I don't have the space to keep it.
Yeah, molding is another whole art in itself.
It is.
I learned molding, on my own. I also watching. I shouldn't say on my own, but watching different mold makers. That do their craft. Mark Brokaw, who is a fantastic, probably one of the best in the business mold makers. He's great. I would talk to him, a bit about back in the day. And I just picked up tips from him, and stuff, and just other people that I watch, that are just fantastic mold makers, and they're so clean, and I was like, how do they get those molds looking so clean? They fit together so like puzzle pieces, and stuff.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing what they do.
That's what was drawing me to that freeform air, because I have to cast it in everything in resin because I don't have the oven or anything, so. Mm-hmm. I need something light, and you can do so much with that freeform air. You can really make it pretty. That shell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. That works great, and it's nice and light. I remember I did a latex mask back in 2011, and I used ultracal molds for that. And those things weighed like 70 pounds. For the molds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh God. It's like concrete, and stuff.
And then you got to rotocast it.
Yeah, you got your work out there for you.
That was the whole reason. I'm like, what's the lightest stuff I can use?
Oh man.
Yep. But that's the next thing is I got the scanner because I thought I could scan the sculpts, the squash sculpts. I've been having the hardest time getting it to register it. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I tried smashing it on the floor to see if that would fix it, but so far I'm getting frustrated.
I know. Paul, I bought one. I think and I took it out of the box. I played with it a little bit, and I got so frustrated I put it back. And it's like I shouldn't have this back in the box. I should learn how to use it because I spent so much money on it. Damn it!
But we haven't had time back. We're busy.
Oh, that's it. Okay, we're busy. That's right.
That's right.
You're busy.
Don't worry, we'll get around to it.
So do you sell these on your Etsy store?
Yes. Those are my dud magnets. I just started incorporating other materials such as like you can see the old barnwood base, and then I also do hair. I also incorporate hair on them, things like that.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Here, zoom in, Mick. Look, that's
Oh.
that's a Rudy original down there. Well,
Hold on. Oh, look at. Oh, yeah. Right on.
Look at the hair. So awesome too. So well done.
oh, look at the holes in his top of his head, poor guy. Oh man.
Isn't it awesome? It's my my favorite. One of my favorite things in the world. I always keep it somewhere where I can see it, so I can steal from you, Rudy. Basically,
Yeah, I was one away from it.
Oh, right there. See, we have
Great minds think
telepathy.
alike.
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh man.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Such a great piece.
So good.
So
But yeah, I
for-
wanted to. I mean, I really resonate with this one. I mean, it's so awesome.
God, yeah, he looks
That's like me
alive.
waking up every morning, right there,
Yeah.
looking in the mirror.
That's
Having a bad hair day
my,
there.
that's my teeth color right there too. So great. And those are magnets, you said, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Magnets.
Oh, those
They're
are so
strong
cool.
as magnets too. It's hard to get it off of whatever I put it on.
Really?
Yeah, I got both feet on the fridge trying to pull it off.
Yeah, those are. I actually asked Andy Burkholz about those magnets because he made some really cool looking magnets, and stuff. And he had some magnets that he used, are earth magnets, and they had like a 2-pound pull on them, so they were pretty strong. Now there are some, we have a refrigerator here that the front is like has that it's got that coating where you can't see fingerprints on, and that those may slide. The magnets make because it's such a slick coating on there. It's so weird,
Yeah.
But for the most, and if you load things down, like if you try to load like 3 and 4 pieces of paper, like whatever you're trying to hang up there, notes or whatever, they may slide down. But it's for the most part, those earth magnets are pretty good and strong.
Earth magnets. I could pick some of them up.
Yeah.
So
And you got they're dangerous. You got to be careful. I've been hit by those before. I held them too close to my. I had something I was holding in my hand. I think it was on another metallic piece of something, and it just shot. I mean, it was just so close. It just shot out of one of my hands and into the other, and I was like,
Wow.
okay.
It's like,
Note
whoa.
to self. Oh shit.
I got a question for you related to so kind of your as a professional sculptor, and you talked about some of the work, and we'd love to kind of jump into some of the things you're doing if what we can talk about, right? Because we know you got stuff we can't talk about, but so when it went for you from kind of loving sculpting and being an artist to doing it professionally and kind of having it as a profession and a vocation, and did you ever, this maybe I'm coming from a place of my own heart, but did you ever like lose the passion for it, or did you just like, even though it's a job, you're still, you got to keep the pieces coming, you got to keep working it? Did you ever like feel like this isn't like what I really want to do, this isn't really me, this is like something else? Anyway,
I understand what you're saying. Well, if it may be so bold as to say, when you're doing this, and I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, just myself, my own experience. When you do this on your own, and you're creating stuff that you love to do, like I love doing zombies, and kind of creature type work or whatever. I love doing that. But then once you have to start doing this for a living, and you're under the gun for deadlines, and you're under different art directors, and it couldn't even, I mean, I shouldn't say art directors, but I mean people who are in charge of what they need to get done, what they need out of you, and you're trying to hurry up and get it done. There's kind of a lackluster feeling you get, towards it. It kind of tarnishes, and stuff. But for the most part, you like me, I started thinking, well, I don't want to, I could be back in working in warehouses like I did back in the 80s. I got a really late start in my art career. I mean, you hear of people in 16, 17 years old that know what they're doing, and they're comic book artists, or they get into sculpting at that age. I didn't start my art profession until about 33.
Wow.
I was really late. I didn't take it seriously in the 80s, you know, and stuff. And I got off to a late start, you know, and actually my first job was a professional illustrator for a toy company in St. Louis and stuff. So that's pretty much how I got my start in this whole art thing, you know. So,
when did you discover sculpting then? And was it, I mean, after were you just messing it around one day and like, this is really fun and you got into it, or?
well, I was, I didn't know about it. I didn't even know I could even sculpt until I was there at the toy company in St. Louis. And this little very unknown toy company called McFarlane Toys came around. When I saw those, that was it. That changed everything for me. I was like, wow, this is what I have to do.
Oh wow.
You know? Okay. So I tried sculpting and I liked it, and I just got a portfolio together. And I worked on my portfolio probably about 6-7 months or so, something like that, just trying to get some things together. And just out of the blue, a guy that I worked with was kind of friends with one of the guys from McFarlane Toys, and he gave me a contact number. So I did. I contacted them, and they gave me their address. Where back then you had to mail everything out, you know, photographs, you know. So you're going to Walmart at midnight getting your pictures developed, you know, and stuff.
Wow.
So I did that, and then within about 2 weeks or so after I sent them the package, I got a call from them, and they said they'd like to, you know, see more of my work, you know, and stuff. So I sent out some more stuff, and they said we'd like to hire you on. I was like, no, really? Are you serious? Unbelievable. So wow. That's how it all started from there, and it was that's kind of an example there. Never work for a place that you're a fan of.
Okay.
you become very how would I say it?
Jaded.
Yeah, things kind of, you're like, I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved McFarlane Toys. It was a great learning experience. Very, very good. Many talented artists that I made friends with there. To this day, I still, you know, keep in touch with them, you know, and they're great artists. They all were great painters, sculptors, mold makers, fabricators. I mean, everyone. They were there, all a great group of talented people there, you know. It's a great experience. But like, again, you know, you get deadlines coming in, you have Toy Fair that you got to spend like sleepless nights working into, you know, and stuff. It's all part of the business. I mean, sure. You know, I'm not going to say that it's all candy coated, you know, or anything like that, but it's all part of the business. You gotta do it. You know, you gotta make your bones, you know, in the toy business, you know. That's pretty much.
Someday maybe they're gonna have a whole line of squash carvings called squashables and
squashkins. Yeah, there we go.
Squashkins.
Well, I think also, Matt, like one thing that you may want to hear is that as someone who I had no choice but to do art was my only thing I could do, and it was my skill, and it was what I did best, and it was either that or deliver pizzas or drive a truck or unload fertilizer off a truck somewhere. So I just made it work. But one of the things I found myself, the trap was that I loved what I did, but I hated who I did it for. And I can imagine working for McFarlane, because I remember being out here during when McFarlane was big. I knew people that worked for them, and it was about the time that they did like the corn video that was pretty they had an involvement in that. I can't remember what it was.
They did I think they did the artist on Spawn. I think Greg Capullo did the cover for the corn CD. I think it's what.
And it was they did one of the videos too. They did some work for a video as well, and it got like nominated for like a Grammy or something like that. But it's like at that time, I mean, it was kind of like the sought out in Los Angeles. You know, there's a lot of like prestigious places to work, like for Lucasfilm or Disney or something like that. But McFarlane back then, when I first moved here in the late 90s, was that was a place that everybody wanted to work for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I can imagine going in there and then going, yeah, the people that run this, they don't know how to do business, or they're super. They want you to, take weekends off and lose family time or whatever. The work balance thing. I mean, like you lose it kind of quickly. So there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that you would never imagine that was, and everybody sees like, oh, you work for McFarlane, that's so awesome. But it's like, not so much.
And also too, it's you walk in there and it's what I always tell everybody. I borrow the same line from Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park: The Lost World. And they're like, oh, you work at McFarlane? Oh yeah. And I go, ooh, yeah, that's how it all starts. Then later there's running and screaming.
Right. The Freak on a Leash video was exactly it. Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, because I mean, my question was, you answered it perfectly, because I always had this feel in the back of my head. Now I'm a hobby artist. I goof around with it. I don't take it. It's not my profession, and I always in the back of my mind, it's like, but if I had made it my profession, how happy would I be? And then I always have that nagging, well, maybe I would hate it now, So
you will. You will.
Yeah, I will.
But you're not an artist until someone tells you is like, that's what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Over your shoulder. Let me get in there. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Right?
If you really love art, like I've been doing art since I could, since 4 years old. I started drawing Marvel comics, at my grandfather's. My grandfather used to own a filling station here in Kansas City, and I'd go and visit him on Saturdays, and I'd sit up at his desk and I'd be drawing all day long, Marvel comics, on scrap paper, and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you as long as I've been in it, if you truly enjoy it, then you'll overlook the obstacles and you'll outweigh it. You'll outweigh the good and the bad, and stuff.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this, and I don't like what they're saying about this, or I don't like the deadlines, but I could be in a hot, sweaty warehouse, building dryers 5 feet tall, or 5 dryers tall. I could be doing a hard manual labor right now.
Yeah.
No. So that's the part. Like I said, you gotta make your bones.
Well, yeah, I did scaffolding in Arizona in the summer, and I drove my own truck. I did scaffolding by myself. And I said, like, yeah, when I was sitting there and it's 2 a.m. and my eyes are red, I'm just like, I'm doing Photoshop on something that's a deadline. And I said, like, yeah, I'd rather do this than be on that scaffold, risking my life for the minimum wage.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, that's what you got to do. You just got to do it, and until you can make your own connections and you can get your own clients. Which is what I did actually. I ended up moving back here from McFarlane Toys. I lived in Jersey for about 2 years. And I moved back to the Midwest, and I got a nice little client list and stuff, and that's pretty much. Then I went to work for Hallmark Cards here in Kansas City, and I do a lot of the ornaments for them. I still do actually.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it's pretty cool because I've done like the Queen Alien, little Queen Alien ornament. I did and actually they had it at Comic-Con a few years back. There was even a Predator one, and did a Predator one, and stuff. So it was pretty cool. I mean, it's only like 4 inches tall, but it was still pretty neat to work on something like that,
Oh, such a small scale that I just can't. Do you work in wax when you work at that scale?
Yeah. So I roughed it out in Castellane. First of all, and then I moved quickly to I molded it and went to the hard wax because you just can't. It's just too hard to work in any other thing besides hard wax. Because I mean, for one thing, the heat from your hand is going to make that clay really. Like if you use monster clay or even the hardest grade of monster clay, it's going to collapse on you. Even if you got a little armature built in there, it's still going to be get real mushy, and stuff.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, you can't do that. But now with this ZBrush, I mean, you can pull an eyeball up the size of your head, and stuff, and do all that noodly detail, and stuff. And
just print it right out.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I was going to say that's the other thing too. if you're unsure of how this, if you're sitting there like going, God, is this detail deep enough? So all I got to do is just send it to my printer, and you'll get a little 3D copy in about 3 or 4 hours, and you can say, oh, okay, I got to bump up the contrast here.
Oh, wow.
I got to add more detail to this here. It's make it deeper, and or something like that. So you have the advantage of looking to see how it looks before it goes into production, which is really nice. Yeah.
That is really cool. See, I was going to ask you about from a ZBrush perspective, because like you talked about the clients and stuff that you now are working with, and your client list. You mentioned that a lot of everybody's really in that world, in the sculpture world. The way you sculpt are kind of demanding ZBrush as your medium. Do you how do you like grow your client list? I'm assuming is it word of mouth at this point, or do you?
Basically, yeah, it is. A lot of people found me on Facebook and actually even more on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Actually,
LinkedIn. Wow, that's
I
never think of LinkedIn as a reference.
LinkedIn is the secret weapon.
Yeah,
Really?
It is sometimes. I've had some people ask about. I've quoted them some jobs from LinkedIn, but that's as far as it got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I can picture them after I quote the job, the price. They're probably over there laughing. Oh, this guy's gonna get this much. It's like they're over there laughing, and stuff. But but yeah, I always picture him saying that, back again. I'm taking a cue from a movie from Austin Powers when Dr. Evil wants $1 billion.
Oh yeah, how much?
Dr. Evil, this is 1969. That amount of money doesn't even exist.
$1 billion. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's right.
No, but no.
Speaking of Austin Powers, McFarlane Toys did the best line of Austin.
Yep.
They did the best line of Austin Powers.
Did.
I still have Fat Bastard at my bar.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yes, I change the battery out periodically so he can still do
It
it.
has batteries. What does it do? Oh, it doesn't.
He goes, sorry, I farted.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious.
Get in my belly.
Yeah, I'm that dad that's like, those aren't toys, kids. Don't ever touch those. Please. No, those aren't action figures for you to touch. Those are dads.
I remember one time, we were over at somebody's house. It wasn't our house, but it was somebody else's house. And we had the remote control. And whoever owned the house came over and said, that is not a toy. Okay. And I remember thinking, my perfectly functioning brain at 14, I didn't say it, but I thought it. I'm like, this is the ultimate toy.
So
yes,
true.
it is.
Oh my god! You can make or break somebody with that remote control.
Oh my god! Like he got heated. So what I want to know, did you do anything like this for Hallmark?
No.
Those
I
are
didn't.
classics, man.
I couldn't sway him on the zombies, which I thought would make a good. They have to be a little bit cuter than that, But I couldn't get him swayed on the zombie thing.
Can I ask you about your process?
You might be able to.
Yeah, Rudy,
Oh yeah, because back in 2006, I was telling them you got to do like the Queen Alien, and they were, oh no, we would never do something like that. Well, lo and behold, 10 years later, they're like, hey, you want to do a Queen Alien? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Ahead of your time.
Yeah, they had to get this little thing called. They had to discover this little thing called Comic-Con, and
Yeah.
There's a gold mine there. Yeah, they found the gold mine. Yeah.
But once they discovered that, they're doing all kinds of things. They got a lot of really, again, there's a lot of great artists that work there at Hallmark. I have a guy that's a friend of mine who has been kind of coaching me a little bit here and there on ZBrush by the name of Jake Angel. He's really great. He's a very good ZBrush artist as well. He does some really, really beautiful work, really nice stuff. So
in the process with go back question, Mickey, on the zombie, the girl, do you start with the drawing? Because I know you're an incredible illustrator. Do you sketch it out first? Because it's I can't imagine you find a whole lot of references for these type of things. How does that work?
Yeah. I start off with the drawing, kind of a little sketch here and there, and stuff. This one here, This one here, I actually did a magnet. The actual magnet I did, I don't even have any more of those. I sold out of those things, but I did the actual magnet first, and then she was pretty popular, so I went ahead and did a statue, like a whole statue of her. And in fact, she's right back here actually.
Oh, look here.
I did a quick little drawing for the magnet, and so I did the magnet. Then I did the hair. I did 2 different versions of the hair. I did kind of a big bouffant hairdo, but then it kind of reminded me of those what are they called? Those Bratz dolls. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, big time.
Big hair,
yeah, big eyes, big hair. Yeah.
So I thought, I'm gonna go for more of a greasy, kind of nasty looking, green type hair, or something, or grayish green, dark, color hair, So I resculpted the hair into what you see there, actually. But yeah, to answer your question, I do every now and then. I'll go in to do like a little sketch, and sometimes I'll do it in clay. Sometimes it's in a
little maquette.
Yeah, or I'll do like a quick little drawing or whatever of it, and stuff.
And dumb question, but you kind of soup to nuts do all of your painting, your hair punching, like if you're doing any kind of mold making. So we've heard it from a number of folks. When it comes to like if you want to be a shop of one, to get more work, that you have to know every single part of it. So along your sculpting career, you had to learn how to paint. You had to do all that stuff too, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, yeah, I had to learn how to paint. I never wanted to paint. I didn't like painting. I shied away from anything color. I mean, that goes to even illustration. I never wanted to, everything you saw was all in black and white, ink, whatever. Whatever I didn't like, and then just. God, back in like 2015 or 2016, I started doing painting. I watched one of Tim Gore do one of his fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, and him and I just started talking back and forth, on Instagram, and he was great. It was great. I watched his videos, and stuff, and that's kind of where I got some of the painting techniques. And then also I have another friend that works for Sideshow Collectibles. His name's Anthony Mestis, and he's a fantastic painter, great painter. And actually, he taught me a few things here and there, So I kind of picked everything up, on the fly, and just started. You got to work at it, just a process of trial and error type thing,
Sure.
And I learned how to paint a silicone paint, and things. But no, I do everything. I do everything from the concept sketch to the illustration, color illustration, to the 3D art, digital or traditional, the molding, the casting, the painting, even do some hair punching too, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I learned? I learned that you're really, really good at learning. You pick up everything. That's amazing.
You got to be a sponge, You got to be a sponge,
Well, I love that now. Literally on YouTube, like you talked about, you just kind of go out and find it, and you find somebody who's good at it, and you watch a video they did, or look them up and talk to them. It's a thing now. Like I'm thinking, like 20 years ago. It was probably significantly harder to learn how to do a lot of the things that you do like every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was
no community.
Back in the day, there was no learning. There was like you had to like dig to to figure out how to do things. Or in my case, I went to this little I should say this hobby. It's like a Comic-Con but for model kit makers. It's called Wonderfest, and they have it in Kentucky, actually, in Louisville, Kentucky. And there's every single model character that you could think of, they have people make like what they call garage kits. And I would go to those and just look to see how they did the sculpting, and stuff on them. And kind of learn that experience too from there, and things. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it took quite a while. I mean, it's and me, I'm like, I gotta hurry up and figure this out, and there's no one to ask about sculpting. Sculpting was just raw. I mean, I had to do it. I had to figure that thing out by myself. How to do this, how to, do faces, and then when it came to action figures, you got to figure out, of course, I was at McFarlane Toys. They show you how to do the articulations, and things like that. But
Sure.
It's just all learning on the fly. That's basically what it is.
And this was one of your first ones, correct?
Yeah, that's actually my friend I was telling you about, Anthony Mestis, actually painted that one for me.
Good Lord, that's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks. I got her. She's right there in my shop bag, right next to Spiderhead. That's actually that is a villain from my comic book series, actually.
You have a comic book series as well.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we haven't even touched on his other stuff. Like he has so much dimension here. It's like insane.
Yeah. It's like I'm jack of all trades, but master of none.
I don't know about that.
I think master of many. Look the way it looks right here. Yeah.
But like if you look at this, I mean, like this, you would think you would stay in your lane and just do all this stuff. And he's said like, nah, I'm gonna go for everything. And you say that you're a late bloomer.
Yeah, I know. Had I the drive to start earlier, I would have probably been further along, than what I am now. What I'd like to be, I just, like I said, I just didn't take it seriously. I went to college here in Kansas City. Went to college for commercial art, and the only reason I took that is because it's the only program that they had any type of drawing in it. And it was mostly just like still life type things, and and
like a studio art.
Matt's dogs hate commercial art.
Yeah.
My dogs hate me. Sorry.
His dogs are philosophy majors, so like, they don't like the liberal arts.
Oh God! But no, I just wish I would have started earlier. So kids, stay in school.
Start earlier.
Start earlier.
Yeah, but nowadays, the longer you stay in school, the more you're in debt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a business. That's for darn sure.
Yep. Yeah. Well, even every now and then I'll look for jobs, like just like freelance stuff or whatever, and I'll like, I really want to do some really cool. I'd love to do a concept artwork for so and so video game company, So I get online and look, or I actually look at what the qualifications are and things, and sure enough, right there, the first line must have at least 5 years experience with a AAA game, putting that AAA game, to have a shipped game, like, oh man. All right, I read that line, I just click it, I turn it off right away. I just delete it right away. But no, they really want you to have a lot of experience, and some of them want you to have schooling, bachelor's degree, and stuff, and things. It's really kind of a hard nut to crack, actually.
Well, and I want to actually put this out there because as someone who just ended a 8-year tenure with a big company, and I have 3 decades of graphic art career, but no degree. I was actually I do a lot of things that actually, like, for younger students, like at universities and colleges, where I go and do portfolio reviews, and I talk to a lot of UI UX people. I talk to illustrators. I talk to graphic designers, and you would be surprised. Like, they all want me to go into teaching, and I tell them, well, I thought that I had to have a degree, and it turns out that my experience actually might be good, okay for that.
Yeah, so, I've heard of that. Yeah, your experience, your work experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need so many people to educate other people on this, and so it isn't so much. I mean, it up front, it's supposed to be the barrier, but it's not so much a barrier, because I thought, I'll never teach because I don't have that. And when I would have gone to college, I wouldn't have learned anything I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
good point. Yeah,
exactly.
So they didn't, like I said, they didn't have a lot of this. I mean, can you imagine they would have pumpkin carving or gourd carving in school, but you could teach a class doing it, and it's all practical because it lends to ZBrush and other 3D programs, and there's a lot of practical knowledge that could be transferred.
Yep. Oh, exactly. I know. I can, like I said, I just remember me back in the day going to school, and I'm like, God, do I really need all this? This is I'm never going to use this, what I'm looking for. I mean, what am I supposed to do with this, with this class, but it's, and everything back then was like, I mean, everything was all hand done. I mean, lettering. I took a lettering class that was part of the program, and you did lettering by hand, you know, and all these different processes now that you know are just so outdated. You know, Chromatech and just so many different things. It's just so different. You know.
Yeah, they don't even teach typography anymore, and that's what I want to bring back. Is actually like doing branding and typography classes and stuff like that. It's a lost art, and that's one thing they've cut back on for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's incredible. The technology now, what they've done is just you know, who would have thought about it? You know, I'm still waiting for if you wake up in the morning and see flying cars go by, you know, or something.
Yeah, where's that? You promised us.
I'm still waiting for that one.
Give Elon 5 years. Elon will have it figured out.
Yeah.
Speaking of flying cars, did you know? I just saw this morning. George Jetson was a 40-year-old father, and he therefore would have been born this year. To be 2062.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Now you know. George Jetson was born this year.
When was Mr. Spacely born?
Oh, he's much older.
Yeah, so he would have been born in 2000 potentially.
There we go. Now your head is full of completely useless knowledge.
Right. I was actually more impressed that you knew the year that the Jetsons took place in.
That's impressive.
Oh my God.
When was Spacely Sprockets? And when did that start?
They got taken over by, I think, Elon recently.
Globocam. Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
So good. And I wanted to go back to some of Rudy's drawings. I mean, this is like what sci-fi novels are made out of. Like, it's so amazing.
Thanks. That's all done. That's illustration. I did that in Clip Studio, actually. I did have Photoshop, and I'm currently boycotting Photoshop because they I had when you upgrade your computer, the newer computers now, they don't support all of your Creative Suite, 5 and 6 or whatever. Well, 6 they may. I'm not sure, but I had Creative Suite 5 and they didn't. I tried contacting them and said, "Can I get at least an upgrade?" And they said, "No, you have to rent Photoshop now from now on."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all subscription based.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As an Adobe community professional, I can tutor you through this. Yeah. It's So you had Creative Suite 5 and 6 or 6? Or?
I had Creative Suite from 3 up to 3 through 5. That's why I had it. I had that.
Yeah. And that itself probably won't work with computers that are
it wasn't compared. And I was on the fence about upgrading and I was like, should I do it or should I not do it? So I did it, and it didn't work at all. It's like, but then with the week after that, I found Clip Studio, and it works. I mean, it's almost a carbon copy of. I mean, to be honest with you, the only thing I miss from Photoshop is the warping tool, where you can if you need to you can turn your drawing into liquid. If you had to move a head or move an eyeball or whatever, and stuff, and it morphs it really nicely. That Clip Studio is a little clunky. Their version of the warping tool is kind of clunky, but hopefully that they get it resolved.
I'd like you to look into a program called Procreate. I think that you would like that.
Apple. Isn't that Apple?
It is. It's not. It's but it's only available on Apple. It's like for the iPad.
Okay.
But it's a very popular drawing program. So Procreate, you can actually probably do a lot of the warping that you're looking to do.
Oh, okay.
So that's a great one. Especially, do you use a Cintiq and stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah, I have a Cintiq Pro that I use, and it's just it's gigantic. It's big. It's probably about as long as my 27-inch monitor that I have here, but it's a nice. I've got it about 3 years ago or so, and it works great. It's a great. I like to find something. My next purchase will probably be something that's more that I can take along with me. It's more portable, and stuff. So
So iPad Pro, Procreate. I think you'd be set. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just spent $1,400 of your money, but
Well, yeah, if you're gonna cheap out.
yeah, if you're gonna go low end, yeah, for sure.
I had to buy a brand new computer, a really powerful one for the for ZBrush when I started doing my projects, because I mean there was no way there's no way that the space that I have on this one, it's got a terabyte of storage space on it, and so it's it's just that's all I can use really. Everything else just freezes up.
Isn't that crazy? Well, that terabyte. Whoa. Like that's nothing anymore, right?
Yeah, I know. Even that is just not,
I remember having a 256 megabyte external hard drive. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I had the Sony Mavica where you would put the floppy disk in the side and you'd take 4 pictures and it would be full.
That's right. That's right.
And it was like a 4 megapixel, and that was state of the art.
Oh my gosh.
Man. I remember the old zip drive. Remember the old zip drives?
Zip drives,
sure.
and then there was jazz drives, which are the higher end of that.
The hard plastic little guys. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I got this gigantic 5 megabyte file.
and what you used to have to do is take that drive, and you would have to take it to what's called a service bureau that actually output those files. Like, it was very rare to have your own printer or because we had to put them on different things where you had to cut them out and then paste them up on like paste up board, and then we'd stat camera that, and then we send them the ads to the publications. That was the whole process.
Wow.
Yeah. I everybody just tuned out. So sorry about that.
You lost the audience, Mickey. Thanks a lot.
Actually, somebody actually typed in ZZZZZ.
Yeah. You're not sleeping if you're typing that in there, by the way.
They fell, their head hit the keyboard.
It's so good. But I mean, like
crazy illustration.
Like so great.
Oh,
so great. And it's so much imagination. And these are all characters that you just came up with on
these are ones that the previous one to this one here, that one was actually a latex mask design actually that I was working on one night. And I had this idea for this character that had these really crazy looking eyes, and I thought I'm just gonna do it before I forget about it. So I just did it in Clip Studio. I just came up with it really quickly. I had the basic foundations of what I wanted for the eyes, and have it like really creepy nose, holes, where the nose is, and stuff. And so I still may do it into a mask one day actually when I get some free time.
See, that's one thing that a lot of artists don't think about is like there's a whole bunch of like art that you'll do and you don't have to use it immediately.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you can go back to it like 10, 20 years later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have tons. I've got files upon files of, of stuff that I just, oh God, it's so much. You don't even know where to start,
Mm-hmm.
I've got the actual files, on my external hard drive. Then I also have the original artwork, sketches and stuff like that. I have sketchbooks, and then just copy paper with little doodles on it, and stuff like that.
You know what those are? NFTs.
Oh yeah. Yep.
See, there's so much. There's so much now that you can do with this, original artwork. Paul, I mean, what? I mean, you started doing NFTs, correct? And like, what has been your take on doing them and getting your feet wet with it?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah, totally.
I think they're friggin' stupid.
Okay.
I think a piece of artwork is awesome. When something you can hold that's tangible, but a piece of digital artwork that you pay a ton of money for, to me, is just strange. That being said, I like money. Mm-hmm. And I also think that something like what we do, more specifically what I do that doesn't stick around, being pumpkin art, if I'm not going to sculpt it or I'm not going to cast it, it's smart to make it an NFT because then it does live on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not. It takes the ephemeral part out of it. So it's actually, you can have that as your own piece of art. But I think it's stupid because it's frustrating and it's new technology, and I don't like new things. And it was a pain in the ass to set up. That was really tough.
And we're also playing both sides of this, where you know, we were talking about like baseball cards and stuff like that. It's like we get the tangible part of something being valuable, and it's like, oh, that, you know, like everybody wanted, you know, the Ken Griffey card or the Roberto Clemente card, but just to make something in it for it to be valuable. But then again, I think about my 20-year-old son who like doesn't care about anything that I care about. Like Roberto Clemente doesn't mean anything to him, but like everything on his phone is like super valuable. So it's like this whole new generation of people like with money, and you know, and so it's very interesting. We're on both sides of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing about it to me, for me, the thing that drives me nuts about it is there are great artists making NFTs. They're doing like a painting a day or like crazy projects, right? But then the ones that are popular, that are absolute dog shit, in my opinion, are these pixelated ones that are put into a random generator. One line of code is typed in, and it creates 10,000 of them. How is that art? That's not art. That's a nerd that knows how to use some sort of computer language.
Computer speak, right?
It's silly, and it's one line of code that you can YouTube what line to put it in a certain. So that's not right. You shouldn't be able to randomly generate stuff. If you create pieces of art, that's valuable. That's your time, and you're putting in your hard work. But you know what I mean? That's what drives me nuts about it. Yeah. Like, and people that push the NFTs are they got their hands in it, so they're going to make money off it anyway. Yeah. Boy, I sound bitter about NFTs.
Wow. Way to go, Mickey. Another dragging the show down again.
Sorry. Yeah, we've become political. I'm gonna add to this. There was and you look up his name. His name is, I believe his name is Kastabi. And Kastabi was a guy who basically in New York, he hired all these amazing artists to paint. So they would sit in his studio and they would just paint like nonstop, like almost like a conveyor belt. Like, all right, I want these, and he would just do this. Then Kastabi, what he would do, he would go and put his initials on it because he commissioned the art.
That's right.
Okay? I heard about and then he would sell it, and it became this really controversial thing where it's like, and then all the artists were like, well, we don't care, we're getting paid, and you know, whatever. This is not our art anyway. So, but then, like, it got a lot of attention, and in the art world, it was like looked down upon. But it was like, it was back then, it was valuable because it was like this controversial thing, and it's like this has always kind of been happening where people kind of figure out things, but of course, it like died really quickly because you know it didn't sustain itself. But art's always had that. It's always kind of like finding new things and new technology and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's complicated, but it's I think it's a great time to be an artist because there's a lot of opportunity for to get your stuff out there.
Yeah, definitely. So, and there's all kinds. Yeah, there's like all the digital stuff, you know, and there's still a lot of traditional artists out there too, as well. You know, creating just amazing, you know, pieces, you know, of work. I mean, I'm trying to keep up like the next guy, you know, just trying to reinvent yourself, you know. That's what I'm trying to say, you know.
Yeah.
So you really have to do that. It's just like with the pumpkins. Ray and I had a chat one time that, you got to keep, and I asked him how he got doing the pumpkins, and he's like, you know, anymore in sculptors, you know, nowadays, and this was back in 2010, I think it was. Nowadays, you know, sculptors now are a dime a dozen. You know, you got to kind of reinvent yourself and do something that no one else is doing. You know, that's pretty much how we got into the pumpkins and, you know, things like that, which makes sense. You know?
Like, how do you do that as a sculptor? That's a kind of an incredible task.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's subtractive art, you know, obviously, and it's you got to think, because once it's gone, it's gone. You know, you take too much off and it's gone. You know, unless you have some super glue, you know, glue the tip of the nose back on, you know, or whatever. But
right.
Yeah, no, it's just a little bit different, you know. It's like I said, it's subtractive art, you know, and you almost have to picture it before you can start, you know, working. And you can draw a picture, you know, draw a sketch or whatever, you know, and stuff like that.
You don't wing it.
You can wing it. You can wing it like we're doing.
You're gonna wing it. Yeah.
I got a question for you. You talked about the kind of Mickey brought up the different potential for artists now related to, you know, where you can go find work. And I know you're doing stuff for video games and stuff as well, right? I mean, besides.
I'm doing right now. I'm doing it's like a project around to see if they're going to get it out there. It's a new video game company actually, and they're trying to. They're hiring different artists with different styles, you know, and they kind of like the style that I was working in. So I'm doing a character. It's like a demon type boss villain type character.
Okay.
You know, and stuff. So once I get it done and everything, I'll post it, you know, on Facebook and, you know, on Instagram, you know, things like that. But that's kind of like my first go into, you know, or getting my feet wet with video games, you know, and stuff. It's cool. I really enjoyed it a lot. You know, it's great. You know, get a lot of feedback. You know, from the directors. You know, that are directing this whole project. You know, and stuff like that. So
that has to exist in digital. There's no, I mean, other than doing a maquette or something or a drawing for them to see it, but that has to, and it has to be. And I'm assuming in a video game, they got to put mechanics to it. They got to have it be, you know, mobile and, you know.
Yeah,
and do the performance effectively. So is that all done in ZBrush as well?
The only thing I've ever done with, like, you mean like you're talking about like animating the figure and stuff? You mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're giving them the static figure and then they can turn it animated, right?
Yeah, in ZBrush, I can make I can actually create a rig to actually move it. Where we're actually creating like a skeleton inside of it, actually.
Okay.
With a thing called Z-spheres, and you can. Now I don't know how different that is. I don't know too much about the animating thing. You know, if they can use that same rig, or if I'm sure they probably make their. I just don't know enough about it. But no, it's just a static pose, actually, just a static. You know, with the arms down to the side, you know, and stuff. Yeah. Which drives me crazy because I'm so used to posing everything that I do, you know,
having to be dynamic and
exactly.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Mickey.
No,
please. No. The only other thing I was going to ask you too, because I know that one other place that you also are working with are like some like big series and stuff like that. So because there's so many different outlets and, you know, in the world now, and with all the, you know, things you can subscribe to effectively, right? And every one of those have individual shows. I'm assuming there's tons of work just in a general sense, you know, for those, let alone video games or commissions or that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there is actually. There's actually a lot of the work that I'm getting right now are people who want to get into selling their own their own kit or statue or whatever. So they'll commission me to do like. I'll do it could be a diorama or it could be just a figure, you know, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I used to do it, you know, traditionally, you know, obviously. Then now I can do it in ZBrush and get it done quickly and just shoot them the file, you know, and stuff, and I can create a little 360 turnaround, you know, and stuff, and they can see it instead of me taking all these pictures, and they can see it, you know. And it's just so different now, you know. It's just and that's really, you know, over the past year, that's pretty much what I've been working with. I do have one client right now who I'm still doing the last two traditional art pieces for downstairs down in my shop, and those will be the last clay pieces that I'm going to. Like I said, unless I'm going to do a mask or something like that, or you know, a prop or something.
That's great.
So not even for fun, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I'll still keep creating the duds. You know, I'll still create. In fact, I did it's a 1-to-1 size dud actually, and I had him. It's big, and I cast one of them actually. I sold one and I kept one for myself, but I want to cast another one in translucent resin and paint it. You know, and I think that'd be kind of a cool thing, but. I just never. I'm so busy all the time. I don't have time to do. That's why just last weekend there was a convention, a comic convention here in town, and I couldn't even do it. I had no time to make anything to sell, and and the deadlines. You know, I had to meet deadlines. You know, and stuff like that. I just don't have any time to do it. But I have to get back out to Monstapalooza again. I loved it. I went out there in 2015, and I love Monstapalooza. That was so cool.
Oh yeah, we're so over the moon excited. I mean, and Paul mentioned it before. I don't know what business we have being there, but other than being huge fans, we got a couple tables, and we're gonna do some of this stuff live and goof around. But
we're gonna entertain.
Yeah, we can't wait. We can't wait.
That's all. You'll have a great time. There's just so much stuff going on. So much stuff going on. You know, it's. I mean, everywhere you look, there's some. You don't even know what direction to go because there's so much cool stuff all around you. You know. Yeah. And I've never been to Monstapalooza, and that year I got to go twice. In that 1 year, I got to go twice. The spring show and the fall show I got to go to.
Oh, okay.
And it was great. It was a lot of fun there. Met up with friends of mine there, you know, and stuff that I work with at McFarlane Toys, and it was just a great time. It's a really good time.
How fun!
Wow. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was. You know what's really great is that there's celebrities. You'll see they're just like the average Joe, you know, walking next to you, you know. And I was talking with a friend of mine, and he had a table there, and one of my friends was like pointing to the guy next to me, and I'm like, what? I turned around, and what's his name? The John Favreau was standing right next to me.
Oh, no way!
I was like, wow,
that's what happened.
That's money, baby. That's money.
Yeah. That's LA right there in a nutshell.
I was going to try and talk him into a sequel to his Rudy movie. You know, hey,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time, but I wanted to go around the horn and see what Matt and Paul are creating. So I'm gonna do Matt first and let you.
Sure. Okay. So it's kind of hard to get a good sense because the lighting.
It's coming together nicely though.
So I'm trying to. I gotta make him irritated, right?
Irritated?
It was actually elated, Matt. Sorry.
Oh crap. Okay. So he's gonna be nightmare fuel somehow, some way. I'll make him pretty gory at some point. But this is got him started. Thank you for the irritated.
That looks great. That looks awesome.
Yeah. Got them all mushed up, and this eye is gonna be like you know,
great expression.
Anyway, so we shall see. But yeah, it's blocking along here.
Hey, can I as a throwback or a callback, as it were, in the comedy business? Can you put a little chipped tooth?
Nice.
You
make quick work of that, Matt.
That looks great. Looks great.
Oh,
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know. It looks pretty good to me.
I know this is all gonna. It's not gonna be this shape. Like literally, this is the vessel. I got so much to do. This is all gonna go away. I think.
Okay.
There's gonna be something going on here. I have no direction. I haven't used any reference.
I know. Yeah, that's honestly, Rudy. That's the toughest part of this thing is jumping in with both of you without any reference. But
yeah, absolutely. I know that.
It's kind of the fun too, because you can never ever screw up because who knows other than you.
Yeah.
You don't have to take that picture off the wall and crumple it up and go, no, I wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's looking pretty good, Paul.
Yeah, it looks great, Paul. It looks really awesome. And Matt's looks very great. I love the expression too on both of them. Look pretty good.
Yeah, Matt. Well, you got some serious wrinkles going on and everything.
He's getting there. You know, it's funny because I don't know if you sculpt this way, Rudy, but Paul and I we can't sit still in one area, like get a nose done perfectly and then go to the mouth. I jump around. It's like always.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I'm all over the place, you know, with that. Even with the clay, you know, I'm the same way. I jump all over. You know, I can't just do one thing, you know, at a time, you know. And stuff. But yeah,
it makes it too hard to match.
Yeah.
You know, if you finish one side, you're like, I got to start from scratch on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. It's better to go at the same time, you know, and stuff, you know.
Yeah, and stepping away from it, we've learned this at the beginning when we started doing the show. We would like try to get it most of the way done, and then we get on the show and kind of finish it while we were talking. Mm-hmm. And then doing this at the beginning, and then kind of putting it away, putting it in the fridge for a couple of days, and coming back and finishing it with a whole new perspective. It makes it so much better and different. You know, it's like, oh my God, that was horrible. Why don't I go this way? And you won't see it, and if you're this close to it, you know, you like keep staring at it, but yeah, we certainly perspective is gained a lot since we walk away.
gonna try and carve this year. I haven't. Well, the last time I carved a pumpkin was probably, I think, 2017 or 2018. That's the last time I did any kind of pumpkin carving. Yeah, so it's been a little while.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
I mean, you'll certainly be the contest winner on your block. I mean, if not at one of the big events somewhere, I'm sure.
You know, I was in Silver Dollar City one year. That's my first big gig actually. There's Silver Dollar City down in the Ozarks here in the Midwest, but I did pumpkin carving every day for like 6 weeks down there, and a lady came and she bought one from me, and I go, you're gonna spend this much money on this pumpkin carving? And she's like, yeah. She said she's gonna take it, she's gonna enter it into a pumpkin carving contest for her work. I think the prize was $250. So she spent, I think I charged her like $30 for the carving, and she was gonna enter it, you know, in the carving contest and win $250. You know, I was like, oh my god! Like, well, you know, at least you're honest, you know, about it, you know.
That's the Kastabi thing I was talking about before. She put
her name on it. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. She paid for it. It's hers.
Exactly.
Well, you know what we'll have to do? We'll have to have you back on in the fall and have you carve a pumpkin and take the challenge.
Oh, definitely.
There you go.
So. How about we rig it so it's a zombie? Even better.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'll just spell out zombie on the wheel. So we're
I can also have like a video, and I'll just put the video up if it go into the exact thing. Like, oh, look at that, landed on zombie.
You know what? Even better than that, I've been meaning a way to figure out how to rig this wheel, and I'll work on that. Whether it's a penny at the other side, so it always automatically weighted down.
We're on the air, right?
Was that out loud? Oh, I didn't think that was out loud.
I don't know.
Whoopsie.
Our rules.
We make the rules now.
I obviously don't fix the wheel now because every time I spin it, I say shit.
Damn it. Well, if you would like to see more of Rudy's work, go to Clayboy Creature Shop. Is there anywhere else that we can find your work?
Basically, right now you can. A lot of my stuff, like illustration stuff, is on ArtStation, and it's just basically if you go to the ArtStation website and just type in it's like Rudy Garcia 1, I believe, something like that, and it's it'll take you right to my it's like an online portfolio. I'm kind of new to it, still trying to figure out, you know, how to, maneuver around in it, you know, and stuff like that. But most of my things are on the Instagram. A lot of I do majority of the Instagram and on LinkedIn. You can find a lot of the stuff.
And then you have your Etsy store, right?
Yes, on the Etsy store. Yes, it's under Clayboy Creature Shop. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right on.
Yep.
Right
Lots
on.
of
Well, this is where you can find us. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. So please tell a friend. And we're almost to 1,600 followers on YouTube. And so we'd like to get over that little milestone. And so help us get there. But guys, any last words before we sign off for this week?
Yeah, get one of Rudy's magnets. They're unbelievable. I love mine. The coolest thing ever.
Look, amazing.
Thank you.
And if nothing else, follow him for the inspiration. I can't say it. I've used your work for inspiration before, Rudy. I'm like, I want to see if, and I get an expression or I get a face or one of the teeth or something like that of one of your sculpts. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And then like your pumpkins are epic. So
thanks. Thank you.
We're just follow him for that, if nothing else.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you for agreeing to join us.
Yeah.
It's been great I love doing the show. It's great. It's fun. It was a fun experience. Pretty cool show.
Okay, we just hang out. We're just a bunch of artists geeking out on each other's stuff. It's just a ton of fun.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely having a few brews there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Little carving oil.
Yes. We will see you in 8 days, not 7 days.
Oh, well, we got
next
an extra
Thursday.
day.
Back to
That's right.
Thursday. Okay.
Next Thursday for another Carvers and Creators. We will see you next Thursday. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Thanks, guys.